Hello everyone, I am Komal Mehta, teaching as an assistant professor in CSC department in St. Andrew Institute of Technology and Management, Gurgaon. Today we will cover some protocols about the web technology. Firstly, we must know what do you mean by a protocol. It means a set of rules, set of requirements that are required to survey to address any routing in a web page. So we will cover HTTP and SMTP here. HTTP means Hypertext Transfer Protocol and SMTP means Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. So let's start with HTTP. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It helps in communication between client computer and web server that is done by request and response criteria. It means once client will send a request to the server, server will revert back with HTTP response. The HTTP is an application level protocol. It means it will act at application layer. That shows the stateless protocol, which can be used for other purpose as well as using extension of its request method, error codes and headers. It means it also includes error codes with error messages, request methods and some header for particular information. Basically, HTTP is TCP/IP based communication protocol. TCP/IP based protocol I was covered in my previous video. You can go through from that part. That is used to deliver a data on a World Wide Web. The default port is TCP 80. It provides a standardized way for computer to communicate with each other. Basically, we have HTTP some features. HTTP is connectionless. It means we need not to connect first and then send a request and then revert back to that. We can directly send a message and get response from that part. It is media independent. That is, we are not specific for particular media. It is stateless criteria. The basic architecture for HTTP is here. It is web client, web server, server side script and a database. Web client means the person who was sending request. It means when I am sending any request to the browser, then I am acting as a client. And the server is the part of a database that help us to get back to us to the solution of our query. That means once a database is created, that database collect all the solutions of our query. Our server will request to server side script to end the request to the database, and database will revert back with particular script, and that script will send back to the web server. Once the web server get that script, that solution, then it will get back to the client side and client will get in its screen. The HTTP server is typically a web host. Basically, it means we are the host and we get back to the server for any query, and server will get back to database for our solution. Right. After that, I am showing you one thing more. HTTP is designed to enable communication between client server as I discussed. It is a request response protocol. This is the main part of HTTP. It means once I will send a request, I will get back with a response protocol between a client server architecture. That's why we are called it as a client server architecture. Once client will send a request, server will get back to that particular request with the solution. That's why it is called a client server architecture. Right. After that, one thing more is that it is not necessary that there is only one client at a time. There can be many clients. As you can see, There are so many person looking forward for anything on a Google at the same time, but they will get back instant of result in little bit time. So there are multiple clients acting at that end, and once a server will get the request, it will revert back to you. A web browser may be a client and an application on a computer that hosts a website may be a server. It means I can be a client or a server at the same time, but it depends whether I am sending a query or whether I am responding for any query. For example, a client browser submit an HTTP request to the server. Then server will return a response to that request. The response contains status information about the request and the requested content. So that response matters for the client. There are some HTTP methods that depends which method is used for the particular purpose. So here it is. Firstly, get. It is used to request data from a specified resources. Next, post method. Post method is used to send data to a server to create or update a resources. These both methods are used too much. There is one slide more about the differentiation between the get method and the post method. I will discuss it later. Next method is put method. It is used to send data to a server to create and update a resources. Post and put method is similar, but there is little bit difference in the both. Head method is identical to the get method, but without the response body. It means it does not contain the response body, but get contain the response body. Delete. Delete method deletes the specified resources. Next, options describe the communication option to the target resources. Here is the difference between the get and post method. In get method, there is back button that is harmless. We can't reload again and again once the data will misplaced or spied by the anyone. But in post, data will be resubmitted. The browser should alert the user that data are about to be resubmitted. It means I'm sending any request, then I must know about the status of my data, whether it is saved or not. If it is not saved, then I will submit it again. So the status is showing that resubmitted data in the post method. About concern of bookmark, we can be bookmark our data, our link in get method, but can't in a post method. So there are some advantage in get method and some in post method, and vice versa as well. Cache. It can be cached in get method but not cache in post method. Cache increase the speed of a data retrieval. History. Parameter remains in browser history in get method but not saved in post method. So if you want to search what I was looking previously, it can't possible in post method, but it is possible in get method. Visibility. Data is visible in URL. The complete data, what is the directory, what is the subdirectory, what is the file name, the extension of the file is visible in get method, but in post method it is not visible. So we can say data is not displayed in the URL. Directly you can mention URL and the content in your window, but not in a URL. Next, restriction on data length. Yes, there is restriction in get method, but there is no restriction in post method. In get method, when sending data, the get method add data to the URL. As look, the simple concept is that URL contain all the information in get method. Once I'm sending any data, that is mentioned in the URL. So if I'm sending thousands MB of data, is it possible that 1000 MB is combined in a single URL? No, it's not possible. That's why length of a URL is limited in get criteria, and in post no need to restrict data because it is not mentioned in URL. It is displayed on a screen. So whatever we want to find out, whatever we want to write out our document, we can write out in the document, not in a URL, right? After that, restriction on a data type. In get method, only ASCII characters are allowed. In post method, there is no restriction. Binary data is also allowed. So in get method, we can use only ASCII characters. For the security point of view, get is less secure in comparison of post method because data sent is a part of URL. But in post method, it is less safer than get because the parameters are not stored in browser history. So there are different parameters to concern about the security. In get method, the disadvantage that was in URL is the symptom, and in post method the history is not stored. That's why it is less secure, because if my data is lost, I can't look that whatever I want to search, I will not showing anything, right? Next, this is all about HTTP. I hope it is clear to all of you. Now, the next is SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It is a set of communication guidelines that allow software to transmit an electronic mail over the internet. That means I want to send mail to the learners, to the students. Then how can it is possible? I will send a request. I will send you with the email ID in two, in CC, in BCC, with the text data. Text structure has contained a body, and then submit, then send it. If I want to attach anything, then it is also possible. So I have to mail any data to the client. Still, I even know about their email ID or not. Is it possible? No, it is not possible. I must know about their email ID, then I will send them a mail, right? It is a program used for sending message to other computer user based on email address. This is what I said earlier, that if you want to send a message, it must be possible with the help of email address. I firstly know about your email ID, then I can send you a mail. Else, it's not possible for me to send any email. It provides a mail exchange between user on the same or different computer, and it also support what it support now. It can send a single message to one or more recipient. Is it possible to send multiple recipient a single mail? Yes, it is possible with the help of CCC or BCC. If you want to know how many of them get a mail, then send it in CC, otherwise in BCC, blind carbon copy and carbon copy. Next point is sending message can include text, voice, video, graphics. We can send any GUI with the help of email ID. It can also send a message on network from the internet. Basically, the main purpose of SMTP is used to set up a communication rules between the server. There are multiple servers acting behind the database, but to communicate between these servers, the SMTP works properly. The server have a way of identifying themselves and announcing what kind of communication they are trying to perform, right? They also have a way of handling the error such as incorrect email address. For example, if the recipient address is wrong, then receiving server reply with an error message of some kind. Yes, is it possible or not? It is possible because once I tried to send a email to wrong email address. Then how can I know this is right or a wrong, valid or an invalid address. I must get any information, any pop-up generated or any error message that this particular email address is incorrect. That's why we must need to correct it email address. There are some components of SMTP. Firstly, there are multiple users can communicate to a single server as I discussed earlier. So here one user, that is client, send a request to the server with the help of internet. Internet is a network that helps to communicate between the client and the server. That's why we called it as a client server architecture. Okay, here I'm showing you one user, that is SMTP client user 1 split into UA and MTA client, and user at a server end is in similar way split into UA and MTA server at user end, which means we can break SMTP client and SMTP server into two components. First one is user agent, next one is mail transfer agent. This is user agent and this is mail transfer agent. User agent, these both work differently. The user agent prepares the message and create the envelope and then put the message in envelope. It means it create the data what we want to send at a server end. The MTA transfer this mail across the network, across the internet. Now, SMTP allows a more complex system by adding the relaying system. Firstly, I am showing you that once a message is created, here I am showing you with the help of diagram, user 1 want to send a request to the user this one at a server end, right? At a client side, it is split into two parts, that is user agent and mail transfer agent. User agent creates a single message that helps to communicate to user second, right? And that user agent send that envelope to the MTA client. MTA client then send revert to MTA server with the help of internet, and that MTA server get back to the user agent of user B and revert in same scenario. I hope this is clear. To make it more easy, more complex system can access with the help of SMTP by adding a relaying system. Now, here I am showing what do you mean by relaying system. In relaying system, instead of using one MTA at a sending side, one at a receiving side, more than one MTA can be added and acting either as a client or a server to relay the email. It means if I want to find out too many queries or there are multiple clients want to send any query to the server, then more than one MTA can be possible at client side as well as server side, and they will send to the relay message to MTA at a internet network. Then that network help to send it on a server side, and in same scenario it will get back to the internet with the help of server side MTA. Now, the relaying system without TCP/IP protocol can also be used to send the mail to the user. That is achieved by the use of mail gateway. So here the new concept, that is gateway. Gateway is the part when we communicate between different networks. So it is possible to communicate between different networks. There is one private network and one common network, so we can communicate with the help of gateway. So if the client is of common network and server is of private network, then it is possible. Now the working of SMTP. The first step of SMTP is the composition of a mail. A user can send a mail by composing an email message using mail user agent. A mail user agent is a program which is used to send or receive a mail. It means If we want to receive an email or send an email, then we can do it with the help of MUA. It means mail user agent. The message contains two parts, that is body and a header. The body is the main part of a message, while the header includes information such as sender and recipient address. The address of sender or recipient contains within a header part. The header also include descriptive information such as the subject of a message. That means any necessary information except the main content is contained within an header file. In this case, the message is linked and the header is like an envelope that contains recipient address. The next step is submission of a mail. After composing an email, the mail client then submit the completed email to SMTP server by using SMTP on TCP port 25. Once the composition is done, the mail written is done, the content is ready, then I can send the mail with the help of MUA on TCP port 25 with the help of SMTP protocol. Delivery of an email. If I am sending any mail to any user, then I also want for the confirmation. That means acknowledgement is necessary. So delivery of a mail means email address contain two parts, username and the domain name. For example, if I want to mail at komal@gmail.com. Here, Komal is a username and the gmail.com is a domain name. So I must know about the user and the domain where I want to mail. If the domain name of a recipient email address is similar, then it does not affect anything. But if the email address of domain name of recipient email address is different from the sender domain, then MSA will send the mail to the MTA. To relay the email, the MTA will find the target domain. It means if I want to mail with my email ID komal@gmail.com to komal@yahoo.com. Now, both domain name are different. One is gmail.com and other is yahoo.com. So it is not possible to continue without any error message. So this will done with the help of MTA. The old task is done, all task is handled with the help of MTA, mail transfer agent. To relay the email, the MTA will find the target domain. It checks the record from the domain name system to obtain the target domain, that it is valid or not. If it is valid, then it will send mail with the help of IP address receiving, else it will show an error message that the particular domain name does not exist or a particular email address does not exist. After that, the next step is receipt and a processing of a mail. Once the incoming message is received, the exchange of a server delivers it to the incoming server, which stores the email where it waits for the user to retrieve it. It means once the task is completed, it will showing in our screen to retrieve the mail. The last step is retrieval of a mail. The stored email is in MDA can be retrieved by using mail user agent. Mail user agent can access by using login or a password. For example, I want to compose any mail to any user. I must know about their email address, their domain name. If the domain name is similar, then no need to communicate. And if domain name is different, then MTA will help to perform all the task and check whether the particular domain name or IP address is valid or not. If it is valid, then the connection created and the email is transferred, else it is showing an error message. Once it complete the task, it will send the receiving mail. You can retrieve your mail with the help of login ID and a password. I hope this is clear. Now, these are the short key points, that is hypertext, hyperlinks, client server architecture. There are some methods of HTTP, get, post, put, and so on that I discussed in my video. You can go through from that. SMTP working, UA, MTA, MUA. These all are the small key points that we must know after showing this video. This is all about today lecture. Thank you.